Yunji went to the kitchen and returned with her tablet. She sat down near the aliens and pulled up pictures. "These are cats," she said, showing images of various felines. Small ones, large ones, striped ones, spotted ones. The aliens studied the images carefully. These creatures had sharp claws visible even in the photos. Their eyes had that distinctive predator focus. Their teeth, when shown, were clearly designed for tearing meat. "They look like hunters," Prism observed, colors shifting to an uneasy orange. "They are," Minho confirmed. "Cats are descended from solitary predators. Unlike dogs who hunt in packs, cats hunt alone. They are ambush predators with excellent night vision, retractable claws, and very quick reflexes." Wavemind's tentacles curled slightly. "And humans keep these in their homes as well?" "Millions of them," Yunji said cheerfully. "Cats have been living with humans for about 10,000 years. Not as long as dogs, but still a very long time." "But why?" Vix asked. Its scientific curiosity was genuine. Why would humans bring predators into their living spaces? "Originally for pest control," Dr. Hana explained. "Cats hunt small animals, rodents, birds, insects. When humans started farming and storing grain, rodents became a problem. Cats solved that problem. They kept the grain store safe. Over time, humans and cats formed a partnership, but now," Prism asked. Nari smiled. "Now we keep them because they are soft and cute and fun to play with. And because they purr. Purring is the best sound in the world." "Purr?" Vix's translator struggled with the word. Yunji found a video on her tablet. She played it for the aliens. The sound of a cat purring filled the room. A deep, rhythmic, rumbling sound. "They make this sound when they are content," Yunji explained. "When they are happy and relaxed. Many humans find it very soothing." Bomi woke up at the sound, lifted her head, looked around, then went back to sleep. Even the puppy seemed unbothered by the recording of what was, genetically speaking, another predator. "This is fascinating," Wavemind admitted. "But I must ask about safety. Surely there are incidents, attacks. These creatures have the physical capability to harm humans, especially small ones like Nari." "It happens, but it is very rare," Minho said seriously. "Dogs and cats that are properly socialized, that means raised around humans from a young age, almost never attack. And when incidents do occur, it is usually because the animal was mistreated, sick, or scared." "We teach children how to interact with animals safely," Yunji added. "Nari knows not to pull Bomi's tail or ears. She knows to let Bomi eat in peace. She knows the signs that Bomi wants to play or wants to rest. Understanding and respect prevent problems." Vix processed this information. "So the danger is minimal when proper protocols are followed." "Exactly," Dr. Hana said. "Though I should mention that Earth has many other domesticated animals. Horses, cows, pigs, chickens, rabbits, even fish and reptiles. Humans have relationships with hundreds of different species." The aliens absorbed this silently. The scope of human domestication was staggering. On their worlds, domestication was limited. A few species, carefully chosen for their docility and usefulness, but humans seem to have domesticated everything they could reach. "There is something I do not understand," Prism said slowly. "You mentioned that incidents with these animals are rare, but what do humans consider dangerous? What do you protect your young from?" Minho and Unji looked at each other. Minho spoke carefully. "We keep Bomi away from certain foods that are toxic to dogs. Chocolate, for example. Some plants are also dangerous. Electrical outlets are covered so Nari cannot touch them. We teach her about traffic safety, stranger danger, basic first aid." "Wait," Vix interrupted. "You said chocolate is toxic to dogs?" "Yes," Yunji confirmed. "Very toxic. Even a small amount can make a dog very sick. But not to humans. Humans can eat chocolate safely. We actually enjoy it very much. It is a common treat." Vix's antennae twitched in confusion. "So there is a substance in your home that could kill your companion animal, but humans consume it regularly?" "Well, yes," Minho said. "Different species have different tolerances. That is normal, right?" "Normal?" Wavemind repeated. "On my world, we test every substance extensively before allowing it near living spaces. The idea of having something deadly just sitting in a kitchen cabinet is horrifying." "It is not deadly to us," Yunji pointed out. "Only to dogs. And we are careful. We keep chocolate up high where Bomi cannot reach it. We educate ourselves about what is safe and what is not." Prism's colors swirled with confusion and something that might have been respect. "Your species has to constantly be aware of dozens of different danger factors. The gravity that could crush us, the weather that could destroy structures, the tectonic activity that could shake the ground, the predators that you keep as companions, the substances that are safe for you but deadly for others. How do you manage it all? Nari looked up from where she sat with Bomi. We just do. It is normal for us. We do not think about it much. That is perhaps the most remarkable thing, Wavemind said quietly. To you this is normal. You cannot imagine life without these challenges. You have adapted so completely that you do not even see them as difficulties. Dr. Hana nodded. That is a very astute observation. Humans do not think of Earth as a death world because it is our home. We evolved here. We are built for this environment. The gravity feels normal to us. The weather is just weather. The animals are our friends and partners. But to us, Vic said, your normal is our nightmare. The thought of living on Earth, of facing these dangers every day, of keeping predators in our homes, it goes against every survival instinct we have. I think that is why this cultural exchange is so important, Minho said. You are learning that humans are not reckless or suicidal. We are careful and intelligent. We have learned to thrive in our environment, and we have done so by forming partnerships with each other and with other species. Bomi stirred and stood up, stretching. She yawned again, then trotted over to her water bowl and drank noisily. After drinking, she came back to the group and sat directly in front of Vix, looking up expectantly. What does she want? Vix asked nervously. She wants you to pet her, Nari said. She likes you? How can you tell? See how her tail is wagging? And her ears are up? She is happy. She wants attention. Vix hesitantly reached out and touched Bomi's head. The puppy leaned into the touch, her tail wagging harder. Vix stroked her fur gently and Bomi made a happy sound, something between a sigh and a groan. She is warm, Vix observed. And very soft. Dogs have high body temperatures, Dr. Hana explained. And yes, they are bred to have pleasant fur. Humans like to touch them. It is comforting. Prism moved closer. May I try? Soon both Vix and Prism were gently petting the puppy, who was clearly enjoying the attention. She rolled onto her back, showing her belly, a sign of complete trust. This is dangerous, Wavemind observed. But its tone was not fearful. It was almost amused. She is manipulating you.
Making you feel affection for her.
It is a survival strategy. Maybe, Yunji said with a smile. Or maybe she genuinely likes being petted. Maybe the relationship is mutually beneficial. We give her food, shelter, and affection. She gives us companionship, loyalty, and love. Nobody is being manipulated. We both get what we need. Nari lay down on the floor next to Bomi. The puppy immediately crawled over to her, curling up against her side. Nari put her arm around the puppy. Bomi is my best friend, she said simply. I love her and she loves me. The three aliens watched this scene. A small human child and a baby predator, resting together in complete trust and affection. It should have been impossible. By all the logic of the galaxy, it should not work. Predators and prey did not bond. Dangerous creatures did not belong in homes with vulnerable young ones. But here on Earth, the impossible was normal. The dangerous was domesticated. The predators were family. I think, Prism said slowly, its colors shifting to a thoughtful blue. We have much to report to the Council, and I think our understanding of what is possible between species needs to expand considerably. Agreed. Vix clicked. Earth humans are not what we expected. They are not reckless. They are not ignorant of danger. They simply have a different relationship with it. They have learned to work with nature rather than just defending against it. Wavemind's tentacles swayed peacefully, and perhaps that is what makes them unique. That is what they can teach the galaxy. Bomi squirmed in Nari's arms, her oversized paws dangling awkwardly. The puppy's tail wagged so hard that her entire back half wiggled with the motion. She let out a small yip, then another howl, this one breaking halfway through into something that sounded almost like a hiccup. She is still learning, Nari explained, giggling as Bomi licked her face again. She wants to howl like the big dogs in the park, but she is too little. It sounds funny sometimes. The three aliens remained frozen. Their threat assessment systems were malfunctioning. The data did not match reality. The creature in the child's arms was small, maybe 5 kilograms at most. Its teeth were tiny. Its claws were blunt. It showed no signs of aggression. In fact, it seemed entirely focused on licking every inch of Nari's face. This is the predator? Vix managed to click out. Its antennae were slowly rising from their defensive position, but its body remained tense. Predator? Nari looked confused. She held Bomi up, examining her as if seeing her for the first time. Bomi, she is not a predator. She is a puppy. A baby dog. But the sound, Prism said, color still dim with confusion. The howl. Our databases identified it as an apex predator territorial call. Minho stepped forward, smiling gently. Your database is not wrong exactly. Dogs are descended from wolves. Wolves are predators, yes. But dogs have lived with humans for a very long time. They are not dangerous to us. Yunji picked up a small toy from the floor, a rope tied in a knot. She held it up and Bomi immediately focused on it, her whole body quivering with excitement. Look, she wants to play. Yunji tossed the toy gently across the room. Bomi jumped out of Nari's arms and ran after it. Except ran was a generous description. The puppy's legs were not quite coordinated yet. She stumbled, rolled, got back up, and finally reached the toy. She grabbed it in her mouth and shook her head violently, growling in a high-pitched voice. She thinks she is hunting, Nari explained, but she is just playing. Watch this, Nari called out. Bomi, come. The puppy immediately dropped the toy and ran back to Nari. Well, ran in her clumsy puppy way. When she reached the girl, she sat down and looked up expectantly. Her tail swept the floor like a windshield wiper. Good girl, Nari said and gave the puppy a treat from her pocket. Bomi crunched it happily. Dr. Hana, who had been watching the aliens carefully, decided this was the right moment to explain. What you are witnessing is domestication. Humans have been breeding dogs for over 15,000 years. We took wolves, yes, apex predators, and through selective breeding created hundreds of different varieties. Some big, some small. Some for work, some for companionship. You took predators, Wavemind said slowly, and you made them into pets? More than pets, Minho corrected. Family members, partners, friends, dogs live in our homes. They sleep in our beds. They play with our children. We trust them completely. Vix's scientific mind was working hard to understand. But the genetic markers must still be present. The predatory instincts. The hunting behaviors. Oh, they are there, Yunji agreed. Watch! She took the toy and dragged it across the floor quickly. Bomi's eyes locked onto it immediately. Her body went low. Her tail stopped wagging. For a moment, she looked very much like a predator stalking prey. Then she pounced, grabbing the toy in her mouth and shaking it triumphantly. She has the instincts, Yunji explained, but they are directed toward toys and games, not toward hunting real prey, and certainly not toward hunting humans. She has been bred for thousands of generations to love humans, to protect them, to work with them. Prism was beginning to understand, but the concept was still shocking. On my world, we have animals, but we do not keep predators in our homes. The idea is unthinkable. How do you control them? Vix asked. Surely such creatures could be dangerous if they chose to be. Nari sat down on the floor and Bomi immediately climbed into her lap. The puppy was already getting sleepy, her earlier excitement fading. We do not control them, Nari said softly, stroking Bomi's fur. We love them, and they love us back. Right, Bomi? The puppy yawned, showing her tiny teeth, then closed her eyes. Within seconds, she was asleep in the child's lap, completely vulnerable and trusting. This is remarkable, Wavemind admitted. On my world, we have partnerships with other species. But they are intellectual partnerships. Creatures with similar cognitive abilities to our own. This is different. Dogs are smart, Nari said a bit defensively. Bomi knows lots of commands already. Sit, stay, come, lie down. And she knows her name. She is only 3 months old and she already knows all that. Minho knelt beside his daughter. What Nari is showing you is trust. Humans and dogs have evolved together. We understand each other in ways that go beyond words. Dogs can read human emotions. They can tell when we are sad or happy. They can sense when we are sick or in danger. They protect you? Prism asked. Yes, Minho said. Even small dogs will bark to alert us of danger. Larger dogs will physically defend their families. There are many stories of dogs saving human lives. They are loyal in a way that is hard to explain if you have not experienced it. Yunji added. And we protect them too. We feed them, care for them when they are sick, keep them safe. It is a partnership built over thousands of years. Vix slowly moved closer, curiosity overcoming fear. May I examine the creature? Her name is Bomi, Nari corrected gently. And yes, but you have to be gentle. She's sleeping, Vix approached carefully. Up close, the puppy looked even less threatening. Her fur was soft and fluffy. Her paws were disproportionately large. She would grow into them eventually. Her face was peaceful in sleep. Vix reached out with one limb and gently touched Bomy's fur. The puppy's eyes opened slightly. She looked at Vix without fear, yawned again, and went back to sleep. She trusts you, Nari said. She knows you are a friend. Prism moved closer too, drawn by the same curiosity. The howl we heard. That is a natural behavior? Yes, Yunji explained. Dogs howl for many reasons. To communicate over long distances. To express loneliness. Sometimes just because they are happy. Bomy was howling because she heard our voices and wanted to join in. She was not threatening anyone. She was just being social. Wavemind's tentacles uncurled completely for the first time since the howl. I am beginning to understand. But I must ask, this is normal on Earth? Many families have these creatures? Oh yes, Minho said. There are millions of dogs on Earth. Many different breeds, that means different types. Some are tiny, smaller than Bomy will ever be. Some are huge, weighing more than an adult human. But they are all domesticated. All bred to live with humans. Dr. Hana spoke up. This is actually a very important part of human culture. Our relationship with dogs has shaped our society in many ways. Dogs have worked alongside humans as hunters, herders, guards, and companions. In many ways, dogs helped humans build civilization. And cats too, Nari added helpfully. We have not met my friend Hyun's cat yet. Cats are also predators that live with humans. But they are more independent. Less obedient, she wrinkled her nose. I like dogs better. The aliens looked at each other. Cats? There were more predator species living in human homes? Perhaps, Vix said carefully. You should tell us more about these cats. The howl echoed through the house again, longer this time. It vibrated in the walls, in the floor, in the very air around them. To the three alien delegates, it was the sound of imminent death. Vix's entire body went rigid. Every instinct screamed danger. The sound frequency, the volume, the duration, all of it matched the profile of an apex predator call. Vix's antennae pressed flat against its carapace, a defensive posture its species had evolved over millions of years. Prism's crystalline structure went completely dark. Light stopped moving through its body. This was how its species responded to extreme threat, by becoming invisible, by hiding. Prism had never experienced this level of fear before. On its homeworld, there were no predators. Nothing that hunted. The very concept was alien until this moment. Wavemind's tentacles contracted so tightly that its body became a small ball in the center of its tank. Its color shifted to a pale, sickly hue. The water around it churned with agitation. Danger, it said, its translator barely functioning. Predator. Large predator. Close. Dr. Hana, who had been sitting quietly in the corner, stood up quickly. She had seen the aliens' reactions and understood immediately what was happening. Wait, please, let me explain. But the aliens were not listening. They were in survival mode. Vix's internal computer system activated emergency protocols. It began scanning for escape routes, calculating odds of survival, sending distress signals to the ship in orbit. Predator call detected, Vix's translator announced in a mechanical voice. Estimated creature mass 200 kilograms minimum. Estimated bite force 400 psi or greater. Threat level extreme. Recommendation, immediate evacuation. Prism managed to speak despite its terror. The child. We must protect the child. This cut through the panic. All three aliens turned to look at Nari. The small human girl stood in the middle of the room, looking confused. She was so tiny, so fragile. How could humans let their young ones live in a place where such creatures roamed free? Nari, come here, Wavemind said urgently. Stay away from the windows. Stay away from the doors, but Nari did not move toward them. Instead, she giggled. Actually giggled, as if the sound of a deadly predator was funny. It is okay, Nari said, smiling. Do not be scared. Do not be scared. Vix clicked in disbelief. Child, there is a predator nearby. A large one. We heard its territorial call. You must take shelter immediately. Minho and Unji were trying very hard not to laugh. They looked at each other, sharing some private joke. This made the aliens even more confused. Why were the adult humans not responding to the danger? Had they gone into shock? Was this some kind of species-wide death wish? The howl came again. This time it was followed by other sounds. Scratching. Movement. Something was definitely outside, very close to the house. Please, Prism begged, its colors flickering between dark purple and gray. Please activate your defense systems. Call your security forces. Do something! We do not need defense systems, Yunji said gently. She was trying to be reassuring, but to the aliens she seemed dangerously calm, like someone who had accepted death and stopped fighting. Dr. Hana stepped forward, holding up her hands. I need you all to listen to me very carefully. You are not in danger. What you are hearing is another howl interrupted her. This one was closer, right outside the back door. The aliens could hear it moving around, its claws clicking on the hard surface of what humans called a patio. Vix made a decision. If the humans would not protect themselves, then the aliens would have to act. Wavemind, contact the ship. Request immediate extraction. Prism, help me establish a defensive perimeter around the child. Already done, Wavemind said, its tentacles moving rapidly through the water as it communicated with the orbiting vessel. Security team is preparing for deployment. But it will take time. They need to calculate trajectory, prepare for atmosphere entry, locate our exact position. We may not have time, Prism said. Its body was brightening again, this time with a sharp cutting light. It was preparing to use its natural defense, a blinding flash that could disorient predators. Whatever is out there is getting closer. Nari walked toward the back door. The aliens' panic reached new heights. No! All three of them shouted at once. But Nari did not stop. She moved with the fearless confidence of someone who did not understand danger. Minho called after her. Nari, wait a moment, let me... It is okay, Papa, Nari said over her shoulder. She is just excited. She heard voices and wants to say hello. She? The creature was female. How did the child know this? Could humans communicate with predators? The alien's understanding of Earth biology was clearly incomplete. Vix tried to move toward the child, to pull her back to safety, but its legs were not cooperating. Fear had locked its joints. This was a survival mechanism, freeze and hope the predator passes by. But it meant Vix could not help the small human. Prism tried to extend a crystalline projection to grab Nari, but the child was already at the door. Her small hand reached for the handle. The aliens watched in horror, unable to stop what was about to happen. Dr. Hana was talking quickly, urgently, trying to explain. It is not what you think. Please just wait. Let me show you. It is perfectly safe. Humans have been... But the aliens could not hear her words. The howl was too loud in their memories. The fear was too strong in their bodies. They could only watch as Nari opened the door. They expected to see a massive creature. Something with huge teeth and powerful jaws. Something that would attack the moment the door opened. They prepared for the worst. Vix calculated that it had perhaps 3 seconds to live. Prism prepared to release all its stored light in one desperate defensive blast. Wavemind closed its sensory organs, unable to watch the small human meet her fate. The door swung open. Nari stepped through. And then she bent down, reached out, and picked something up. Something that definitely made noise. Something that was definitely alive. But something that was much, much smaller than the aliens had imagined. Nari walked back into the house, holding the creature in her arms. It was covered in fur. It had 4 legs that dangled loosely. It had a tail that wagged back and forth. And it had a face with dark eyes and a pink tongue that was currently licking Nari's cheek. Everyone, Nari said proudly, holding the creature up for the aliens to see. This is Bomi, she is my puppy. The cognitive dissonance was overwhelming. The 3 aliens stared at the small, fluffy creature. This was what had made that sound. This tiny thing that fit in a child's arms. This was the apex predator that their sensors had warned them about. The puppy looked at the aliens with innocent curiosity. Then it opened its mouth and howled again. The sound was smaller this time, less refined, almost comical. But it was definitely the same type of sound. The genetic echo of something much larger and more dangerous. The aliens' minds struggled to process what they were seeing. Nothing made sense. Everything they understood about predators, about danger, about threat assessment, all of it had just been turned upside down. The transport vehicle stopped in front of a small house in a quiet neighborhood. Trees lined the street, their leaves moving gently in the afternoon breeze. Children played in a park nearby, their laughter carrying on the wind. To the 3 alien delegates sitting in the vehicle, the scene looked deceptively peaceful. This is a typical human dwelling, Dr. Hana explained from the front seat. The Park family lives here. They have volunteered to host you for the day. Vic studied the structure through the window. The house was made of some kind of processed wood and stone. The walls are very thick. Why do humans need such reinforcement? Weather protection mostly, Dr. Hana said. Also earthquakes, as we mentioned. Earth's crust is quite active. Prism dimmed slightly, a sign of discomfort. You build your homes knowing the ground might shake beneath them. We have learned how to build safely, Dr. Hana assured them. This house has stood for 30 years without any problems. Wavemind's tentacles swirled in its tank. 30 years is not very long. On my world, structures last for thousands of years without maintenance. Different worlds, different challenges, Dr. Hana said cheerfully. She stepped out of the vehicle and gestured for the aliens to follow. The front door opened before they reached it. A man and woman stood in the doorway, both smiling warmly. The man was tall with kind eyes. The woman was smaller, her hair pulled back in a simple style. "Welcome," the man said. "I am Minho and this is my wife Yunji. Please come in. We are so excited to meet you." The aliens entered cautiously. The interior of the house was warm and filled with soft light. Furniture sat arranged around a central living space. Pictures hung on the walls showing the family in various locations and situations. "Please sit wherever you are comfortable," Yunji said. She had prepared special seating for each alien based on their requirements. A heated pad for Vix, a position near the window for Prism where the light was best, a small mobile tank for Wavemind that allowed movement while maintaining its aquatic environment. "You have gone to much trouble for us," Vix clicked. "We appreciate your hospitality." "It is no trouble at all," Minho said. "We are honored to be chosen. Not every family gets to meet visitors from other worlds." A sound came from the hallway, small footsteps running quickly. Then a child burst into the room. She was tiny even by human standards, perhaps 7 or 8 years old. She wore a bright yellow dress and her hair bounced as she ran. "Mama, Papa, are these the aliens?" the child asked, her eyes wide with excitement. "Nari, remember your manners," Yunji said gently. The little girl stopped and bowed politely.
"Hello, my name is Nari. I am very pleased to meet you."
She spoke slowly and clearly, as if she had practiced the words many times. Prism's colors shifted to warmer tones. "Hello, small human. We are pleased to meet you too." Nari moved closer, studying each alien with intense curiosity. "You look like a big bug," she said to Vix, "but pretty. Can I touch your shell?" Vix hesitated. Its species did not usually enjoy physical contact. But the child seemed so genuinely interested. "Very gently," Vix said. Nari reached out and carefully touched Vix's carapace. Her fingers traced the patterns on the shell. "Wow, it is so smooth and hard. Like a stone but warmer." "Our exoskeletons are quite strong," Vix explained. "They protect us from harm. Like armor," Nari said happily. "I read about armor in my books. Knights wore armor a long time ago." She turned to Prism next. "And you are so shiny. You look like the crystals in my rock collection. Do you change colors when you are happy or sad?" "Yes," Prism chimed. "Colors help us communicate emotions and ideas." "That is so cool." Nari clapped her hands together. "What color are you now?" "Right now I am showing curiosity and mild contentment," Prism answered. "Meeting you is a pleasant experience." Wavemind made a sound that the translator converted to gentle laughter. "You are a very brave child. Most young ones would be frightened of being so different from themselves." "Why would I be frightened?" Nari asked, tilting her head. "You came all the way from space to visit us. That means you are friendly, right? Mama says visitors are friends we have not talked to yet." The 3 aliens exchanged glances. The child's complete lack of fear was surprising. On their worlds, young ones were carefully protected from anything unknown or strange. Yet this small human approached them with nothing but joy and curiosity. "Nari, why don't you show our guests your drawings?" Minho suggested. "You have been working on special pictures for them." "Oh, yes." Nari ran to a table and grabbed a stack of papers. She brought them back and began showing each picture to the aliens. "This one is you," she said to Vix. "I tried to draw all your legs, but there are so many. And this one is you," she showed Prism. "I used all my colored pencils to make you sparkle. And this is you in your water home," she showed Wavemind. The drawings were simple, the kind that young children make, but they were made with care and attention. Each alien could see that Nari had tried to capture their unique features. "These are wonderful," Wavemind said sincerely. "You are quite talented," Nari beamed with pride. "Thank you." I want to be an artist when I grow up. Or maybe a space explorer. Or maybe both. Unji brought refreshments. For the humans, there was tea. For the aliens, special preparations that Dr. Hana had helped arrange based on their dietary needs. They all sat together, the aliens on their special seats, the humans on their sofa, and little Nari on the floor with her toys spread around her. Tell us about your life here, Prism requested. What is it like to raise a young one on Earth? Minho and Yunji took turns explaining. They talked about schools and playgrounds. They described family meals and bedtime stories. They explained how they taught Nari to be kind, to work hard, to respect others. It sounds similar to child rearing on many worlds, Vix observed. You teach values. You provide safety and nutrition. You prepare the young for adulthood. Every species wants the best for their children, Yunji said warmly. I think that is something we all share, no matter where we come from. The afternoon continued pleasantly. The aliens began to relax. This human family seemed normal, kind, peaceful. Perhaps Earth was not as dangerous as the report suggested. Perhaps humans were not so different from other species after all. Then, from somewhere outside, deep and resonating, came a sound that made all three aliens freeze in primal terror. It was a howl, long and powerful, the kind of sound that in nature meant only one thing: a predator announcing its presence. The conference room aboard the Harmony's edge gleamed with soft blue light. 3 species sat on one side of the long table, their forms so different from each other that it seemed impossible they could have come from the same universe. On the other side sat 3 humans looking remarkably plain in comparison. Ambassador Taemin adjusted his collar and smiled at the alien delegates. He had prepared for this moment for 5 years. First contact with alien life, the moment that would change humanity forever. His hands were steady, but his heart beat fast in his chest. On behalf of Earth and humanity, we thank you for this opportunity, Taemin said. His voice was calm and professional. We are honored to be considered for membership in the Galactic Council. The insectoid creature called Vix clicked its mandibles together. Its translator device hummed to life. We have observed your species for some time. You have achieved faster than light travel. You have unified your planetary government. These are the basic requirements. Next to Vix sat Prism, a being made entirely of living crystal. Light moved through its body in waves of color. When it spoke, its voice sounded like wind chimes. However, we have concerns. Significant concerns. The third alien, Wavemind, floated in a tank of water built into its chair. Its tentacles moved in patterns that the translator converted to words. Your planet is classified as a death world. This is extremely rare among council species. Dr. Hana leaned forward. She was a xenobiologist, someone who had spent her entire career dreaming of this moment. We understand our planet may seem dangerous to you, but we have adapted to it. We have thrived on it. Adapted? Vix's antennae twitched. Your gravity is 1.3 times standard. Your atmosphere contains highly reactive oxygen. Your weather systems produce winds that would tear apart our structures. Your tectonic plates shift constantly, causing what you call earthquakes. Prism's colors shifted to a darker hue. And your predators. We have studied your wildlife. Your apex predators are numerous and deadly. On most council worlds, a planet has perhaps 1 or 2 dominant predator species. Earth has dozens. Taemin nodded slowly. He had expected this. Yes, Earth is a challenging world, but humans are not weak. We have learned to live with these challenges. We have built cities that withstand earthquakes. We have created systems to predict dangerous weather. We have learned to coexist with the wildlife of our world. Jiwan, the security officer, spoke up for the first time. She was a military veteran, chosen for this mission because of her calm demeanor. If I may add, Ambassador, our ability to adapt to difficult conditions makes us strong. We can survive in environments that might kill other species. This could be valuable to the Council. Wavemind's tentacles curled thoughtfully. Perhaps. But we must ensure that your species can integrate peacefully into galactic society. Deathworld species have certain tendencies: aggression, territorial behavior, a tolerance for violence that other species find disturbing. We are not violent by nature, Taemin said firmly. Yes, we have had wars. Yes, we have conflict in our history. But we have also created art, music, literature. We have philosophy and science. We have love and compassion. We are complex beings just like you. The 3 aliens exchanged looks. It was hard to read their expressions, but Taemin sensed uncertainty. Prism spoke again. We propose a cultural exchange. Before we grant full membership, we wish to observe human society more closely, not through cameras or reports, but through direct experience. You want to visit Earth? Dr. Hana asked, her eyes brightening. Yes, Vix clicked. We would like to stay with human families. To see how you live day to day. To understand your culture from the inside. Taemin smiled. This was good news. If the aliens could see human life up close, they would understand that humans were not monsters. We would be happy to arrange this. We have many families who have volunteered to host alien visitors. We must warn you, Wavemind said. We will be evaluating everything. How you treat each other, how you treat your young, how you interact with your environment. If we find that your species is too dangerous, we will recommend against membership. We understand, Taemin said. We have nothing to hide. Come to Earth, meet our families, see how we live. I am confident you will find us worthy of joining the Council. The meeting continued for several more hours. They discussed logistics, safety protocols, and communication systems. The aliens had many requirements. They needed special accommodations for their different biologies. Vix needed a warm, dry environment. Prism needed exposure to certain light frequencies. Wavemind needed its water tank to be maintained at precise temperature and salinity levels. Dr. Hana took notes on everything. She would be responsible for ensuring the aliens' comfort during their stay. She asked questions about their dietary needs, their sleep cycles, their medical requirements. The aliens seemed impressed by her thoroughness. Finally, as the meeting drew to a close, Taemin stood and extended his hand. It was a human gesture, one he had explained earlier. Thank you for this opportunity. We will not disappoint you. Vix reached out with one of its limbs and gently touched Taemin's hand. The gesture was awkward but sincere. We hope you are correct, Ambassador. The galaxy needs good species that can contribute to the common welfare. We will see if humans are such a species. After the aliens left, the three humans sat in silence for a moment. Then Jiwon let out a long breath. That was intense. They are scared of us, Dr. Hana said thoughtfully. Did you notice? They think we are dangerous. Taemin nodded. They come from safe worlds. Peaceful worlds. They cannot imagine what it is like to grow up on Earth. To them, our normal is terrifying. So we need to show them that we are not monsters, Jiwon said. We need to show them that humans can be gentle, loving, peaceful. Exactly, Taemin agreed. We will choose the best families. The kindest people. We will show them the best of humanity. Dr. Hana looked out the window at the stars beyond. I just hope it is enough. I have wanted to meet aliens my entire life. I do not want to lose this chance because they are afraid of us. They will not be afraid for long, Taemin said with confidence. Once they see humans up close, they will understand. We are not perfect, but we are good. And that is what matters. The three humans gathered their materials and left the conference room. In 3 days, the alien delegates would arrive on Earth. In 3 days, everything would change. Taemin just hoped it would change for the better.